back with another video with all new price predictions with current analyst support resistance levels and what I kind of see for the market. We'll do some semiconductors, technology like AMD, Nvidia, even like AVGO, and other ones, Cloudflare, CrowdStrike, and much more. Then we'll go to some of the Mag 7s like Apples and Metas and so forth, Teslas. We'll go to the Palantirs and SoFis. We'll hit the health side with UNH trying to break the major resistance level that it's been trying to break for a long time, ever since about May. We might be finally getting that break. A lot of stuff I'm looking out for UNH, and we'll go over HIMS as well. We took some profits off HIMS and some other things I'm kind of looking out for HIMS. The health side, we'll go over the airlines, so American Airlines, UAL Airlines. We'll also go over the banks, JPMs, Morgan Stanley's, Bank of America's, and then we'll probably end it off with some extra names and then the crypto side as well with the SP 500. So make sure you smash the like button, subscribe if you're new, and thank you for watching. So let's go to the semiconductor space. Let's start off with Nvidia. So we had a resistance level in Nvidia right around 171 that pretty much hit perfect today. If we look at the 5-minute chart, it literally tapped out almost perfect, came down and literally did nothing all day. Today was pretty much a slow day. We did get some plays in that I'll go over, but overall, not too much to do. We do have a new support on Nvidia right around 167.45. I have a new support here. I have a new resistance here. If we come and break this resistance, I'll start looking to play shorter term calls on Nvidia. If we break that support, then I'll continue kind of just looking for that downside push on Nvidia. But for right here in between these areas, it's pretty much like no man's land. I want to kind of break one of these areas to just give me a more directional type of movement. Like if it breaks here, I believe it's going up. If it breaks here, I believe it's going to continue this down movement that has been starting since about like August 27th, coming down to like the 160. So longer term shares wise, I'm just kind of holding my shares, not really buying any more long term shares until we have a noticeable drop. It gets down into the 140s or so. That's when I'll probably start averaging in on some more longer term shares, at least for me, for Nvidia. Then we have AMD. Support on AMD is still around 144.55, smaller support, smaller resistance around 154.13, 154.15. We're kind of watching the same things. There's really nothing I would do in this range of Nvidia, of AMD either. Only thing I really saw was like a smaller put option play, literally at open. Y'all know every morning I usually scalp every morning. You get to see that live. Big sell is happening now for the Discord, but I was should have got puts here. I kind of saw it late. I bought the puts late and I actually lost when I should have won, but that was AMD puts I was kind of looking out for. Other than like shorter term plays of like scalps, there's really nothing I would do in here as a swing, or I wouldn't buy long term shares just yet, or kind of nothing. So I'm letting AMD move a little bit before I start doing any bigger movements. Y'all know Broadcom reached up back to all-time highs as they had a record of 334.89 after a $10 billion AI chip deal. So very, very good. They literally rock it up. The only thing I have right now in AVGO is long-term shares. That is literally up over 100% because when AVGO crashed down here in the 170s, 160s, we were buying, I think maybe the 150s, I have to check. We were buying long-term shares of AVGO. So AVGO has literally did 100% just off shares, and I really have not sold any AVGO shares yet, which I might do soon, but honestly, this is a stock I could just literally hold forever. All it really does is go up. So I might take some little profits on it, like 20% or so. That's about it. Anything like option wise, there's nothing I would do right here. We have to let kind of AVGO move a little bit longer, in my opinion. CrowdStrike is trying to break this resistance level around 426.50. For me to try to look for upside on CrowdStrike, it would probably have to break above like 440 as well. So we probably need to continue the push, break above 440, and then we might be able to see it go to like 450, maybe even the 460s, and try to play like a bigger reversal on CrowdStrike. Other than that, we do have a bigger support that I'm gonna actually update. New support. And I'll put the new support on CrowdStrike at about 412.60. We'll have that new support. So if we stop around this area and we come back down and break that support, then that's probably CrowdStrike wants to continue the downward movement, and it's probably not ready for like a higher retracement or anything like that. So for now, I'm gonna just assume more downside until we really get some strength out of here, because last time we had strength, we came right back down. We kind of can't come down every time we have strength. So I would just kind of be careful on that CrowdStrike front. Like Cloudflare, even net hit all-time highs today. Once it broke resistance at 212.55, I was going to assume that all-time highs wanted to hit. If we look at the 5-minute chart, all-time highs pretty much hit right at open in the first. This is 5-minute chart, so 10 minutes it did hit that area, hit it, and pretty much did nothing afterwards. It just kind of stalled. So Cloudflare is literally at all-time highs. So what I would do is I would take all the levels off. I would see how Cloudflare has moved the next 2 days, and then I'll probably update better levels. Your next video will probably come out around Wednesday on Cloudflare. You probably have about 2 or 3 videos a week now on YouTube. Most of everything will mostly be in the Discord. Like today we scalped. I did like Meta, AMD, and Meta again. I lost all 3 of those. I waited. I was patient. Then I got back 2 wins. Amazon 15, Amazon, another Amazon 20%, and got most of my losses back from this. Still down a little bit, but we had to fight. But you get to see all this live. I also sold the rest of my Google Leaps. So I had Google Leaps the last 25% for over 407% gains of my Google Leaps today, September 8th, because Google literally at all-time highs. We bought them a while ago. Google has done its job. And then I still have the long-term shares as well that I kind of really never sell. But yeah, discount is now live. You have until Friday. Elite down to 65, Elite yearly down to 650. So if you want to join the Discord for a year, and lifetime memberships down to $11.99, which also includes personal training where I teach you my strategy. So if you like want to take it one step further, then that'll be lifetime. But make sure you guys join the Discord. Personally, get a description. And yeah, prices go back to normal on Friday. So that's what I'm looking out for Cloudflare. Let's go to SMCI. SMCI still kind of bobbling around the support. I'm still just looking for it to drop down. I think it wants to go down to like 38. So kind of still looking for downside, not really looking for upside just yet. The only way I will change and look for upside is if we come back and break 44.55. 44.55. If we're nowhere near that, so I'm just assuming SMCI wants to go down. I'm not looking for shares or anything. I'm just assuming it wants to go down. So if I was to play it, I would be more focused on like puts than I would otherwise. So just kind of watch out for that. And then if we go to ANET hit all-time highs, so we can take all our levels off of ANET. I really don't see any clear levels just yet on ANET. If it broke that small resistance around 144.80, it probably wants to go back to all-time highs above the 145.46s. So I can assume that maybe just kind of focus on call options if we break that resistance area. Other than that, I would give it some time if it keeps dropping to kind of work its way out of here. And then I will also just give a support just in case I don't update it for a while and you are watching it. You have a support right around like 133.70. So if it breaks that, that upside might be a little bit done with. So that's what I'm looking out for. ANET, kind of keeping in the semiconductor electronic space. TSM wants to go to all-time high. The all-time high is actually right around 248.28. The high today was about 247.89. So we can assume that TSM wants to hit all-time highs tomorrow because it's testing these resistance level 243.45. It broke today, and then it tested that 247.10. Seems like it wants to close right at that area. So we could take this level off, but I'm gonna just assume if it keeps its trend that call options for TSM to hit all-time highs tomorrow might be more beneficial than trying to look for downside unless we have some bigger crash or something like that. We do have a smaller support, I would say probably like around 244.75 we could watch out for on TSM, but have long-term shares, haven't sold any long-term shares. Maybe I'll look for some calls tomorrow for it to go to all-time highs. Pretty much like scalping it. Like I said, every morning I usually scalp. That's like my bread and butter. So we'll kind of see how tomorrow opens. If we can get some strength in this area, like say it opens like around here, if we get some strength to break resistance and then it gives me like an entry, kind of entering calls and then running up to hit targets, we'll see. But yeah, I'll probably be focused more on calls if we can continue that strength on the TSM front in that space. And then still in the technology sector, trade desk, bigger crash, waiting for a bigger reversal on trade desk. I think that's where I would make some plays in. So I'm kind of waiting for it to break this resistance level because you have a new resistance level now, right around $54.05 or so is your new resistance. Once it breaks that, I'm gonna start focusing on some upside plays on trade desk like calls and so forth. Another stock that crash is like Lulu crash. I might try to play a reversal on here. You have a bigger resistance around like 203.60. Once that breaks, I'll be looking for some bigger calls. Other than that, you probably have to give a little bit of time in here. Then also ARM support needs to go down. ARM support now is about 132.55. Resistance level is down now to about 141.45. So those are 2 areas. If we break here, I'm going to see if we can get ARM up to the 150s. That'll be nice. And then if we break that support, then I think ARM might be coming down to like 124. That's why these levels help me a lot because they let me know where price wants to go. And all I do is just play in a direction. I don't keep it complicated or nothing like that. I just play in a direction of price. And then let's go to Palantir. Palantir still nasty. Same levels on Palantir. Actually, new resistance level on Palantir is about 158.20, 158.25. That would be the resistance level we watch out for. And then support, I'm gonna leave it at 149.95 and 147.95. So levels on Palantir will pretty much stay the same. Nothing really going on Palantir. It hasn't moved in like 2 weeks. SoFi trying to break resistance. Not bad for shares. If I was to play it, I would probably get shares in this area. Look for it to go up into like the 29s. That'd be about 12% gain. Or if it come back down and broke support, I lose about 4%. So it's about 3-to-1 risk reward. It's not bad just for shares. That's pretty much all I see on SoFi. If we go to 𝐾𝐨𝐧'𝐭 did break support. So what we can do is we'll update a new support on 𝐾𝐨𝐧'𝐭 right around 58.95 will be a new support. Resistance will stay the same, 61.30. All I can see is just seemed like it just wants to start turning down after it had this decent run. So getting a little soft, just kind of be mindful of that. Also open, had a down day today, test resistance almost perfect, right around 728, 730. Big nice push off of that. We have 2 supports, 620 and 555. We'll kind of leave those there for now. Like I said, you want it to come around this resistance area. Remember, I literally drew it out. You want it to come down resistance area and have a pull down, which it's literally doing. Then you want it to hold somewhere in these areas of support to come back up. And once it comes back up and break resistance, then that could be a possible shares buy that I might like for it to go up to $8. So it's on the down movement now. Now we just kind of needed to hold support to get that process in. So that's what I'll kind of be looking out for. CRWV. New support I'll probably add on CRWV is about $87.95. Resistance level 101.90. There's nothing I would do in between these levels. If we break resistance, I might get shares for it to go to 110, 115. If it breaks support, then it's probably just going to continue going down. Let's go to Tesla. So Tesla tested resistance today around 355.10. Tesla did hit some shorter term targets on the higher side. And then is now coming down. Tesla just in a weird kind of range. I would say your support on Tesla is right around 334.65. Resistance level, I'm going to say resistance now is about 349.30. Those would be a new area. So anything bigger wise on Tesla, I don't think I'm going to look to do it in this range. We're still kind of stalled. We're not really moving. I would love to buy more long-term shares of Tesla, but I really want Tesla like to either just crash already or like to go up. But it's getting... Hopefully we get some type of movement on Tesla, a bigger movement that I think might be coming on Tesla sometime soon. Up or down, doesn't matter which direction, but once Tesla starts moving, that's when it will get easier gain. Because once it starts moving, it really moves, or the downside, it really moves. It just becomes easier to kind of trade Tesla. That's what I'm kind of waiting out for those bigger movements. Apple has the event tomorrow. Also, we don't have any bigger news starting until Wednesday, I believe, and then Thursday, a lot of news, and then Friday. So tomorrow might be slow again, but we have Apple new resist. I'm gonna leave resistance Apple around 239.55. I'm looking for Apple to continue this upside. So this little pull down right here, I want to see if we can kind of hold Apple in this range for Apple to kind of push up because it is lagging. We have support around 235.95 as well, but we have that Apple event tomorrow. So we will see how the Apple event kind of affects Apple, right? But we'll also by a judge ruling allowing it to keep receiving $20 billion yearly from Google for default search engine rights. Apple market value hit 3.5 trillion with shares after boosted by a judge ruling allowing it to keep receiving $20 billion a year from Google. That's a lot of money, but yeah, that's Apple. Let's go to Google. So like I know, I sold my last Google Leaps over 400% gain. That was pretty good. We bought those Google Leaps like somewhere in here for it to go to all-time highs. So now that it did that, I have my shares, holding the shares through, and that's about it. I don't really see any new plays that I want to do it at Google. The only thing I might do with Google is like some shorter term puts if we continue the weakness tomorrow. That's really about it. If we go to Amazon. Okay, Amazon, let's update some levels. We have new resistance around like 238.40. We have new support around 233.80. If we break resistance, Amazon is very close to all-time highs, even though it has a secondary resistance on Amazon we could put on our chart. Amazon has a secondary resistance around like 240.50. So if we can hold the support, that will show a lot of strength. And if we can at least try to break like that first resistance, I might try to play Amazon up to all-time highs. We'll kind of see, but it is getting very close. It was a lagger. Got the long-term shares, not selling those anytime soon, but I am looking to play some calls on Amazon. All in the Discord. Make sure you take advantage of the sale that is live. Very good sell live. First link description. Make sure you join, and then prices go back up on Friday. Okay. Let's see on Meta. What is Meta showing? Meta is not showing much. We'll leave support there. 742.30. Resistance is not that clear. Let's take resistance off for now. We'll just kind of leave that support. I really don't see much on the Meta front right now, so we'll just kind of wait a little bit for Meta to have a little bit better movement. Let's go to health side. So HIMS, we took a little profit off HIMS. We bought shares of HIMS once it broke this resistance level, and my target on HIMS was really to $50. So if you look at like the 5-minute chart on HIMS, you'll see it literally blew past $50 here, blew past $50 here. So we did take some profit off of HIMS, but I still have about half of HIMS left. So I'm trying to see if HIMS could try to get some more strength and maybe try to push up to like the $54 range. We have a bigger resistance, probably like around 55.40. And then your support on HIMS is like around 48.60. So those are your levels. We can see maybe if we do pull down, we kind of bounce off this support area and then continue that higher push up, trying to get some extra push. We'll see if I sell the rest of it or not, but it did have a nice retracement. That's the only reason I played it, was like for a little retracement. I'm not playing it for it to go all the way back up here or nothing like that. Very Pacific retracement. We got it, took profit, and I have a little bit left to see what else it wants to do. UNH is really trying to break that bigger resistance. We have two, 319.05 and 321.20. 321.20 is a resistance level UNH has been trying to break since May. So we are at that level now. Did some plays on UNH. See how it's been stalled between these resistance levels. A1 levels always. This is why, since there's going to be less YouTube videos, you'll get to see more of that in the Discord, because we're live. You can ask me on levels and so much more. But it's literally stalled in between here. So we're going to see if UNH is finally ready to get that strength and push up. By tomorrow, we'll probably know, or Wednesday. I don't want it to drop too much from this area. It needs to go like quick. It needs to have like big green candles, strength, and really start pushing up. Eli Lilly, I don't see too much on Eli Lilly just yet. Eli Lilly does have like a smaller resistance level on it, right around like 739.30. Maybe I might play calls on Eli Lilly to go up to like the 760s. Once it breaks this area, we'll kind of see. But that's about it. CVS, I got long-term shares. They had a bigger drop today. Nothing crazy. Still got the long-term shares though, so I'm not really selling any shares. 73.60 is resistance, and then your support, we're literally at support. I would say your support's around $70.20, so we'll leave that for CVS. Even DVA is something, but DVA just hasn't really showed any strength yet, so nothing really crazy on DVA. I would say your next resistance on DVA is about 136.78, 136.80. But other than that, it's kind of slow. To the banks, JPM, support 290.20, resistance 302. Nothing I would do in between these levels, but if we break, probably put time. If we come back and break this resistance without breaking support, probably wants to go back to all-time highs. That's why I'm kind of looking out for the banks. Sometimes banks can be signs. Morgan Stanley is pretty stalled. I mean, Goldman Sachs is stalled. Morgan Stanley stalled. Even Bank of America having a little drop, but overall kind of stalled. Resistance on Bank of America is probably about 50.40. The only one I might see that might be a play is JPM, kind of on that bank side. We have United Airlines, Delta Airlines, and American Airlines. American Airlines is the only one I have shares of. It's just looking a little weaker. The strong one right now, even like Boeing, they haven't really moved for like months. Boeing hasn't really moved since like July. We kind of just been bobbling around. No real direction. Same levels on Boeing, by the way. But UAL is actually trying to keep strength in here. So I'm watching UNL. I'm trying to see if there's a play on it. I don't see too much on it right now. All I really see is the resistance level on UNL, about 109.95. So other than that, American is actually a bigger airline than United Airlines, but it's just not moving. So we'll kind of see. I am watching the airlines a little bit, nothing too crazy. For the retail side, Walmart's breaking shorter term resistance, 101.85 as a secondary one, 104.50. Looking for Walmart to go back to all-time highs, so looking for calls somewhere in between this area here. And then Costco has resistance around 993.90. Once we get close to that, I might look for calls for it to go back above in the thousands. Target is not really doing much yet. Look to buy some more long-term shares. Watch that support on Target around $90.70. If it breaks that, Target's probably going down to the low 80s, and I'll probably play puts on Target. I'm thinking about it for some downward side plays. Even like TJX, y'all know this stock rarely drops. Like TJ Maxx and Marshalls, I think they're all the same thing. Home Goods, all the same thing. This one is starting to break up, like it's want to go back to all-time highs too. And then other stocks I'm looking to buy more of, Nikes, Disney's, and so forth. Even like Home Depot is testing resistance at 420. So Home Depot call I'm thinking about after it breaks that resistance on Home Depot to go back up to all-time highs. Even Lowe's is showing strength as well, kind of staying in that retail side. You have some resistance around that 247.10. Lowe's might want to go back to all-time highs too. There's a lot of stocks in the market. We don't need all of them really to look at. We could just look at a couple and be good. Even I'm watching MasterCard, Visa, just kind of watching a lot of stuff. But let's go to gold. Gold's still booming. Hit my target 335. So let's take all the levels off on gold. I'm just kind of waiting for gold to have some type of retracement in here. We'll see for the next play. Silver trying to break up resistance. It got something on silver. We'll see if silver can hold the strength above that resistance level and like kind of push up. I'll update all new silver levels on Wednesday if I make a video, but I would say your bigger support would probably be around 37.05 on silver. Let's check oil, like OXY pretty much. That's the only one I have shares of. Pretty slow, not really moving. Bitcoin, pretty slow. Same levels on Bitcoin, Ethereum. Let's check Solana. Solana's probably still... Oh, Solana actually has strength. Kind of going up, yeah. We have Solana as well. We will see, but nothing really much on the crypto side. S&P 500, yeah, no real clear levels that I really want to put. Just kind of in a nasty range. So we'll give S&P 100 maybe some more time. Maybe when news start coming out, we'll get a little better pushes. And then I know Hood is getting introduced to the S&P 500. Hood is probably going to run up to all-time highs. So we'll see. Might be call time for Hood tomorrow to break up to all-time highs. Got the long-term shares, so pretty much holding those for now. Your support is right around 103.05. We could take resistance level off, assuming we run up to hit all-time highs tomorrow on the Hood front. Other than that, smash the like button, subscribe if you're new. Make sure you guys join the team first in the description for price to go up on Friday. And always remember, no recommendation to buy or sell anything. This is for educational purposes only, so do not trade anything you see or hear in the video. Catch you guys in the next one. Bye.